Welcome back to Parenting Pulse, the show where we explore the psychology, science, and soul of raising resilient kids. Today, we're diving deep into the parenting philosophy of Dr. Jordan Peterson.
Peterson's work is known for its clarity and intensity. He doesn't sugarcoat the challenges of parenting, but he offers a roadmap built on discipline, responsibility, and meaning. One of his most quoted rules? Do not let your children do anything that makes you dislike them. It's not about control, it's about cultivating respect.
Peterson argues that children are not born civilized. They need guidance, correction, and structure. If parents avoid conflict or fail to discipline, they're not being kind. They are being negligent.
He says, quote, "You are not doing your child any favors by letting them act in ways that make them unlikable. Because the world won't tolerate it, and neither will you, eventually. That's a wake-up call for permissive parenting." End quote.
Instead, he advocates for firm but fair boundaries. Correct behavior early, consistently, and with love. And when they get it right, praise them. Quote, "You can teach virtually anything with reward," end quote, he says.
Peterson's parenting advice is rooted in a broader philosophy that responsibility is the antidote to chaos. He believes that meaning in life comes from voluntarily shouldering burdens, not avoiding them.
He says, quote, "To stand up straight with your shoulders back is to accept the terrible responsibility of life with eyes wide." End quote. That applies to parenting too. You're not just raising a child, you're shaping a future adult who will impact others.
And that means giving your child responsibilities early. Chores, commitments, consequences. Not to punish, but to prepare. Because when kids learn to carry small burdens, they grow strong enough to carry bigger ones.
Now here's the hard part. Peterson talks a lot about guilt, especially the kind that comes from avoiding responsibility. He says, quote, "To suffer terribly and to know yourself as the cause, that is hell." End quote.
That hits deep. Parents who avoid discipline, who ignore red flags, who choose comfort over confrontation, they often feel guilt later. When their child struggles socially, emotionally, or morally, they wonder, did I do enough?
And guilt isn't just a feeling, it's a signal. Peterson believes it's the psyche's way of saying, you've betrayed your values, you knew better. But here's the hope, guilt can be transformed into action.
Exactly. He says, quote, "If you fulfill your obligations every day, you don't need to worry about the future." End quote. That's the parenting mantra. Show up. Be consistent. Own your role.
Peterson's ultimate goal? To raise kids who can handle life. Not just academically or professionally, but emotionally and ethically.
He encourages parents to teach their kids how to navigate suffering, not avoid it, because life is hard, and pretending otherwise sets them up for failure.
Teach them to speak the truth, even when it's uncomfortable. To take responsibility for their actions. To be someone others want to be around, not because they're perfect, but because they're honest and kind.
And remember, your child is watching you. Your habits, your reactions, your values. Peterson says, you don't know what you believe until you watch how you act. Parenting is the ultimate mirror.
One of Peterson's most practical parenting principles is this: don't do anything for your children that they can do themselves. It sounds simple, but it's deeply countercultural.
Especially in an age of helicopter parenting. We rush to tie their shoes, pack their bags, solve their problems, thinking we're helping. But Peterson warns, every time you do something for your child that they could do themselves, you're stealing an opportunity for growth.
He sees this as a form of unconscious sabotage. When we overfunction for our kids, we teach them helplessness. We rob them of the pride that comes from mastery.
And it's not just about chores. It's about emotional resilience. If your child can apologize, let them. If they can solve a peer conflict, guide them but don't intervene unless necessary.
Peterson believes that competence builds confidence. A child who learns to dress themselves, clean up, speak up, and take responsibility becomes someone who feels capable in the world.
Now here's the twist. Many parents overdo things out of guilt. They feel bad for being busy, for missing moments, for not being perfect. So they compensate by doing too much.
Peterson calls this a dangerous loop. He says guilt is useful when it leads to responsibility, but guilt that leads to indulgence is cowardice dressed as compassion.
That's a tough pill. But it's true. If we let guilt drive our parenting, we risk raising entitled, anxious kids who expect the world to cater to them.
Instead, he urges parents to channel guilt into structure. Show up. Set boundaries. Let your child struggle a little, because that's where growth happens. So let's wrap with a few actionable takeaways from Peterson's parenting philosophy. Set clear boundaries early and enforce them with consistency. Use positive reinforcement to shape behavior. Give your child age-appropriate responsibilities. Don't avoid guilt, use it to course-correct like a compass. Let it point you toward your values. Model the behavior you want to see. Teach your child to confront suffering with courage and honesty.
And above all, remember, parenting isn't about perfection. It's about presence, responsibility, and growth for both of you.
Thanks for joining us on Parenting Pulse. If you found this episode helpful, share it with a fellow parent. And if you're wrestling with guilt or uncertainty, know this: it's never too late to show up differently.
Next week, we'll explore emotional regulation and how to help your child build resilience in the face of anxiety. Until then, stay curious and stay courageous.